It's Jess.
Hi, there is construction outside, so you might hear some beeping, but I have to get this video up, and this story absolutely needs to be out there. At approximately 7 o'clock last night, my cat went missing. I was out on the balcony enjoying the view, and he was out there with me because I figured if he was going to be out on the balcony, I wanted him out there with me. And he started getting kind of agitated and started meowing at the window, so I said, okay, it's time to go inside. I'm going to insert that clip right here. Cannot wait until I get some patio furniture. But in the meantime, just enjoying this view. Also, Björn does not know how he feels about being outside. How do you feel about being outside? Everything is so very alarming and so many things to sniff.
Do not eat my basil plant. You want to go back inside? Okay.
And then a few seconds after that, he just slipped away down that little opening right there into the neighbor's balcony, and immediately stood up and went over and was trying to beckon him to come closer, and I grabbed a cord that was charging on the inside of my house, and I got it out there, and I was trying to lure him over with the cord, and he was just crying so loud. He must have thought that we were all connected, all the balconies were connected. So by the time I was able to run out of my house, down the hall, and knock on the neighbor's door and convince them to let me out on their balcony, he was not on the balcony anymore. I thought maybe he had come back on this side of the balcony, so I ran back around the inside of my balcony, and he wasn't here, and he wasn't on the neighbor's balcony. And I asked the neighbor to look on the next balcony, and she said he wasn't over there too, and I was absolutely freaking out. I was running down the hallway, banging on people's doors. No one was answering their doors. I came back inside and was just calling him and calling him and calling him. I couldn't find him anywhere. And so I eventually got my shoes on and went all the way down to the 7th floor. I'm on the 11th floor, by the way. Did I mention that? 11th floor is up. So I went down to the 7th floor, which was the closest floor that was sort of overlapping the gap. So it was like my apartment is here, and there's this long semi-connected balconies, right? Right here, from this way, is a 7th floor. So I was hoping, just in case he had accidentally fallen, that he had got onto the 7th floor. So I went downstairs, was calling all around. I couldn't see up on the 11th floor. Tried to look over the side of their wall that they have there. It's too high for me to get up. So I went back upstairs, running down the hall, knocking on the doors. And the other family kept asking me if I had found him yet. Couldn't find him anywhere. At this point, it had been like an hour long. So I looked up online what to do. And I got his food dish out there, and I had some pieces of chicken. I was trying to like get him to smell the chicken, and I was frantically calling my mom, trying to talk with her. I couldn't, my service was cut off. I didn't pay my phone bill on time, and I couldn't call the management team. So I gave my mom the number, and she called the management and told them it was an emergency, that my cat had gotten out. It was there several stories down, or several apartments down, hopefully. And I had his food out there. I was trying to shake his favorite toys so he could hear them, and I had my YouTube videos looping so he could hear my voice. This time of night, I was usually watching The Office at home, so I was playing The Office, trying to calm myself down, trying to get him to like hear something familiar. Brought out a couple little pieces of his litter box so he could smell that. My mom suggested to put a fan out to blow the smell down the other way, hopefully to bring him back. And to distract myself, I was just crazy mopping my entire house, trying to calm myself down. Kept going out. I left notes on all the doors all the way down on the side of this building. got flashlights, was going down on the 7th floor. I freaked myself out enough that I went all the way down to the bottom floor and was looking around the bottom, hoping that he hadn't fallen off the side. I couldn't see any evidence of that. And the security guy down there told them that they knew what the situation, they couldn't find him anywhere. So I went back upstairs. I was a sweaty, absolutely sobbing mess. I was sobbing so hard I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was hyperventilating. I was having a panic attack. And my mom kept trying to talk me through it. And my boyfriend called and he was asking what was going, like, hey, are you okay? What's up? Or something like that. And I told him what had happened, and he was like, okay, and he hung up the phone, and I thought he was at work. And so I was just sobbing and sobbing on the porch with all his toys and all his favorite food. And my boyfriend had come home from work, and he was trying to help me find him. We couldn't find him. Went downstairs with me, went back down the hall with me, and he was here for a while. He had to go back to work, so he left. And it was 11 o'clock at night. Finally made myself something to eat. And I was sitting here, didn't know what the hell to do. Then I left here to go pick my boyfriend up from work by like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got to my phone both of our phones are off at this point. So got to work, he wasn't there. So I drove back home, and when I got home, he was here. So we must have just missed each other. But when I was leaving, I walked I went down to the 7th floor and walked it was a parking structure. Walked all the way down to the parking structure, calling him, jingling keys. And I guess when my boyfriend got home and he saw I wasn't here, he went all the way downstairs doing the same thing. And he looked over the side of the 7th floor, saw a car downstairs, which was me. But anyways, we were both home, trying to figure out what to do. We were on the porch discussing it, like, there's no way he could be on one of the porches. We would hear him crying. And like, maybe he jumped over and fell down onto the floor beneath us in the 10th floor onto one of their balconies. But like, we would still hear him crying, right? So I just resolved myself to sit down at the table and write the same note. I lost my cat. His name is Björn. I live in this apartment. This is my phone number. This is what he looks like. Please call me. I was gonna go and leave notes on it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apartments for 5 floors down. I was gonna leave notes on everybody's doors telling them about this cat. I was about 2 floors down worth of writing notes when my boyfriend just said, hey, there's somebody out on the balcony down there. Maybe you can talk to them. And we were both like completely didn't know what to do. So I went outside, and there was a guy 2 balconies down taking a smoke. And so I was shouting at him, hey, over here, is there a cat over there? And he looks on his balcony, and then he looks on the next balcony, and he goes, yes. I said, is it a gray cat? He's dark. He said, yes. I said, can I come over there? And bless this man, he said, yes, we could go over there. So Carlos and I raced down the hallway and knocked on the guy's door. This point, it was like 12:30 at night, like 12 midnight, and the guy was in his boxers playing video games, had just taken a smoke. He was like, hi, and I'm like, please let us out on the balcony. So we go out on the balcony, and we look over on the neighbor's balcony, and he was right there on the very edge of the balcony, just crying so hard when he saw us. And we kept trying to beckon him over, but he was like right, there's like a gap that's like this big at the bottom of the balcony. God knows why. And he was right at the edge. I was so terrified he was gonna slip through. We kept trying to call him and he wouldn't come. And there were maintenance guys walking all around the ground that night, and for some reason in this gap of time there was nobody down there. So I raced downstairs. Our building is under construction a little bit, so the past 5 floors there's no elevator operation. So I went down to the 5th floor, took the stairs down to the bottom floor, and it was a construction zone. The lobby's completely torn apart. Wandering the construction zone, trying to find where a maintenance person would be, and popped out the other side of the building. There was a maintenance person there, and they looked at me like where did I come from, just from this construction zone? And I was trying to explain my situation. There was a slight language barrier. They told me to just go to the next building over in our complex. And I went over there, I told them my situation, and they said, we've been trying to call our supervisor because we need to take a bathroom break for over an hour and a half, and he's not answering our phones. He's the one who could help you. So I stood there for a while. They were trying to call the supervisor, and I said, is there an emergency maintenance number you could call? Because that's the number my mom had called. When my mom had called him, like within 2 hours, it took 2 hours for the maintenance to come upstairs and say, hey, we knocked on the doors and nobody's there. I don't know what to do. Like, that's all they did. And so they told me to check between the apartment beside me and 2 apartments down, but not for the 3rd apartment, which was really odd. So at this point, I was over there at the other building explaining my situation. I said, could you call the other emergency number? And they said, that guy lives, there's no way he's gonna come out this time of night. And I said, okay, well, I mean, what if it was a child? He goes, oh, if it was a child, it was a different situation. I said, he's a cat. He's gonna fall off of the 11th floor. Like, I was trying to get them to understand. He said, there's nothing we can do. Maybe you can call the police. If our supervisor sees that the police is at the building, he's gonna come. Maybe they can open the door. And I'm like, I think it's a vacant apartment. Like, I'm banging on the door. This cat is crying outside. We're shouting at the inside. And the neighbor is convinced that he's seen a light in there sometimes, but nobody is there. So I don't know what's going on with this. And so the guy's like, oh, I don't know, call the police. So by the time I ran from that building all the way over to our building and climbed the stairs up to the 5th floor and took the 5th floor elevator all the way back up to the 11th floor and got to this guy's apartment, and I'm knocking on the door, and I don't hear anything. So I figure maybe they're working together to try to get my cat. So I'm just standing there like, I don't know what to do, like I'm biting my fingers, I'm like sobbing, and they open the door and my boyfriend emerges with just scratches all over his hands, smelling of tuna, holding my cat, and I just immediately lost my mind and just grabbed him. And what had happened, I guess, when I was gone, they had a can of tuna and had lured him slowly over to get the tuna, and my boyfriend had grabbed him and the tuna juice had gotten all over both of them. And we came home, and I had posted in several of my groups about what had happened with my cat, and everyone was praying and sending vibes and lighting candles, and I had done this big crystal grid, and I was just so happy that he was home. I was just so filled with gratitude. I'm still thinking about it. I thought I was assuming the worst, but he had just gotten stuck all the way over there on the balcony in fear. And just paralyzed with fear. So there's no way he could have heard me calling. He might have smelled his familiar things, but he was just so petrified he couldn't move. Björn, come here. I'm just so happy that he's home. For all of you who knew about the situation and was praying and sending vibes, thank you so much. By the time we had gone to bed, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's like 2:45 in the afternoon, and I only just woke up a little while ago. We gave him some food, some water, and I gave him, I had these kitty wipes. I gave him a bath because he smells so bad of tuna. I'm probably gonna have to give him a real bath on another day. But it was the most heart-wrenching ordeal that I've been through in a while, and sobbing so hard that I felt like I was gonna vomit. Like, I didn't know what the hell to do. Like, this cat is supposed to be here to bond with me, and what kind of flippin' idiot lets the cat disappear down another balcony? Like, it negates the purpose of him being here. And of course, obviously, I didn't document any of this because I was just frantically out of my mind trying to find my cat. Otherwise, that would be this video, but I just wanted to let you guys know what was happening in my life. I had a completely other video plan, but there's no way I can wrap my head around making a different video right now. I just wanted to let everybody know what had happened. Anyways, this was a very emotional video. I put out new videos every Monday. Sometimes it's extremely personal, like it was this week. Vlog. Sometimes it's completely about my cat, which is seeming like it's more often than not. Make sure to give that like and subscribe button a 1-2 punch, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.